Ah, Stranglehold, the game that lets you pirouette through the air while dual-wielding pistols, all in glorious slow motion. For me, this was one of the first games I played on my Xbox 360, part of the bundle that came with it, and it truly launched my love for the system. It was a time when we were all banging on about HD graphics, and Stranglehold was the perfect showcase for what gaming could do. Few games have managed to bottle the chaotic charm of a John Woo movie quite like this one. From the soaring doves to the relentless gunfights, it's a title that screams style over everything. But Stranglehold wasn't just a game, it gave players control over legendary Chinese film star Chow Yun-fat and placed you in an action-packed movie, blurring the lines between cinema and gaming. So how does it hold up today? Grab your dual pistols because we're travelling to Hong Kong and then over to Chicago with Inspector Tequila to gun down a ridiculous amount of gangsters, if we have enough bullets. Stranglehold brought so many intriguing game mechanics to the table, so it's perhaps no surprise that the vision for this game came from the mind of the iconic director John Woo.
Stranglehold is my first video game. So I'm very excited about it. I enjoy it, and I love to work with all the genius in Midway.
His films like Hard Boiled, The Killer, and A Better Tomorrow redefined action cinema with their signature style. Chaotic gunfights, dramatic slow motion, and emotional storytelling. Woo's influence can be seen everywhere, from Hollywood blockbusters to gritty indie films. But in 2007, he decided to take his craft to a whole new medium: video games. Midway Games were behind this ambitious project. At the time, they were known for titles like Mortal Kombat and Psyops, but Stranglehold was a new frontier for them. With John Woo not just approving the game, but serving as an executive producer, it wasn't just another third-person shooter, it was a passion project, a spiritual sequel to his 1992 masterpiece, Hard Boiled.
I could say Stranglehold is the sequel of Hard Boiled. I missed the movie. I've been trying to develop a sequel for Hard Boiled, but I didn't know how. I didn't know how to make it better. But I was so lucky to working with Midway. They came up with such a great idea.
And yes, Chow Yun-fat was along for the ride too, reprising his role as Inspector Tequila, and that alone was enough to set fan expectations sky high. But the stakes weren't just creative, they were financial. Midway poured a hefty budget into Stranglehold, aiming to create a blockbuster experience that could rival the biggest titles of the time. And while the game didn't quite reach the financial heights that they'd hoped for, it remains a bold experiment in merging the worlds of cinema and gaming. Now let's talk mechanics, because this is where Stranglehold truly shines. If you've ever watched a John Woo film and thought, I wish I could do that, then this game is aimed at you. First, there's Tequila Time, essentially the game's version of bullet time. It slows the action to a crawl, letting you dive, slide, or even spin on the spot while taking down enemies with pinpoint accuracy. It wasn't just a gimmick, it was the heart of the gameplay. Whether you were leaping across banisters or gliding down a staircase on a serving tray, it felt gloriously cinematic. And there were destructible environments. Midway really went all in on this feature. Pretty much everything around you could be blown to bits, creating dynamic set pieces that felt alive. A shootout in Stranglehold wasn't just about taking out enemies, it was about turning the environment into your weapon, exploding barrels, collapsing scaffolding, shattered glass. It was chaos, and it was beautiful. While comparisons to Max Payne were inevitable, Stranglehold had its own flavour. Where Max Payne leaned into noir and grit, Stranglehold was pure bombast. It was less about brooding detectives and more about sliding across tables and making the entire environment explode.
That really hurt. I'm gonna have a lump there, you idiot.
When Stranglehold was released back in 2007, it received a mix of praise and criticism. On the one hand, critics lauded its commitment to replicating the style of a John Woo film. The action was intense, the visuals were impressive for the time, and the game's unapologetic embrace of chaos made it stand out in a crowded market. But not everyone was sold. The campaign, while packed with thrills, was relatively short, clocking in at about 6 to 8 hours. And while the gameplay was undeniably stylish, some critics felt it lacked depth. The reliance on tequila time and environmental destruction, while fun, didn't leave much room for strategy. Sales-wise, the game didn't perform as well as Midway had hoped. Despite its hefty budget and high-profile collaborators, Stranglehold struggled to break into the mainstream, but it did find a loyal fanbase, gamers who appreciated its unique blend of style and substance. Today, Stranglehold is something of a cult classic, a hidden gem if you will. It's a reminder of a time when games weren't afraid to be over the top, and when creativity often trumped commercial viability. For me, personally, Stranglehold isn't just a game, it's a fond memory. This is one of the first titles I experienced on my Xbox 360, and it's fair to say that it left a lasting impression. I'll never forget the mission by the sea, with the Hong Kong boats bobbing in the background, the chaos of the gunfights, the thrill of leaping between cover, and the sheer spectacle of it all. Years later, I found myself in Hong Kong, standing by the water, seeing those boats in real life. It was surreal, and for a moment I half expected doves to fly up past me, and for Inspector Tequila to burst out of nowhere, guns blazing. It's moments like these that remind me why gaming is such a powerful medium. It creates connections that stay with us long after we've put the controller down. If nothing else, Stranglehold is a testament to John Woo's enduring legacy. His influence on action games can't be overstated. Whether it's the slow-motion gunplay of Max Payne or the cinematic set-pieces of modern titles like Uncharted, Woo's fingerprints are everywhere. But what makes Stranglehold special is how directly it translates his vision. This wasn't just a game inspired by John Woo, it was a John Woo game, through and through. Wow, that rhymed. And the sequel to Hard Boiled that he and the fans had always hoped for. Even today, revisiting Stranglehold feels like stepping into one of his films, and while the gaming landscape has changed a lot since 2007, there's something timeless about the sheer joy of sliding across a table in slow motion as you blow someone's head off. I think some people call that living the dream. So, does Stranglehold still hold up? For me, absolutely. It's not just a game, it's a nostalgic time capsule, a chaotic masterpiece, and a reminder of how bold gaming could be. Midway's gamble might not have paid off, but I do miss game studios taking a chance on something ambitious instead of just remaking some old game or providing us with yet another pay-to-win, loot box-filled cash grab. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got a fruit stand to destroy. Stay safe and keep gaming.
This game will give everyone such a great opportunity to be in a John Woo film, or to make a John Woo film, or to make yourself a film,